All right, so yesterday we looked at solving basic equations with addition or subtraction. And so if we look at problem 1 here, if we're trying to get x by itself, we're going to go ahead and subtract 5 from both sides, because then that gets rid of the plus 5. So then we have x equals 11. Our second problem, we have x minus 8. So here we want to get rid of that minus 8. We're going to add 8 to both sides, and we get x equals 20. And then we saw in the second set here, again, we want to get x by itself, so if we can subtract 7 to get rid of it, then we want to subtract 7 from the other side to get x equals 12. 2 is a little tricky here. Here, we had to add x actually to start off. That way, we keep all of our numbers positive. So 14 is positive here, 5 plus x is positive. And from here, we can then subtract the 5 to get x by itself, and then subtract 5 from the other side. So now we have 9 equals x, or x equals 9. All right, so now today we're going to be looking at decimals and negative numbers. All right, so here it's the same type of deal, except now we're working with decimals. So what would I have to add to 2.5 to get to 4? And if these problems seem a little difficult to you, I will typically just kind of get rid of the decimal point for a bit. And now it looks like, what do I have to add to 25 to get to 40? I'm like, oh, that's going to be minus, in this case, 2.5. So I subtract 2.5 from each side. Or you think about it subtracting 25 from each side. Gets rid of the 2.5 here. 4 minus 2.5, or 40 minus 25, is going to give us 1.5, or 15. So x equals 1.5. All right. So remember, if you ever get rid of that decimal point, like I did, crossing it out here, you just have to remember to bring it back into the problem after you complete it. All right. And then you can plug x back into your equation and see if it makes sense. All right, so now we're going to go x minus 0.6 equals 1.1. So here I want to get rid of that minus 0.6. So what I'm going to do is add 0.6. Here, that gets rid of my minus 0.6. What I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. And so here, 1.1 plus 0.6, it's going to give me 1.7. So x equals 1.7. All right, so you're going to continue on with problems just like that. Just remember, as you get down here, it might get a little bit more difficult. Like here we have minus x. So here you could add x to both sides. That way you're keeping it positive. So then if we rewrite it, it's going to be 3.14, which you may have noticed is pi, equals 0.55 plus x. And then from here, we can get x by itself by subtracting. And so here, we do 3.14 minus 0.55. It seems a little difficult, but remember, you can always do it as 314 minus 55, and then just put the decimal place back in where it belongs. So let's see, 4 minus 5. It's going to change this to 0, and that's going to be 9. And this would be essentially 10. If I change this to a 2, 10 minus 5 gives me 5. And then I bring my 2 down, 2.59. So x equals 2.59. All right, now we're going to move over here to negative numbers. All right, so this is going to take a little bit of critical thinking. Here, what would I have to put in for x if I add 2 to equal negative 4? So think about what I have to start at if I was going to add 2 to end up at negative 4. Well, here it's the same thing. I want to get rid of this plus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract right away, right? The opposite of adding 2 is subtracting 2. So that cancels out. I do the same thing over here. Negative 4 minus 2. Okay, so think about it. I'm at negative 4, and now I add 2 more negatives. So I have a total of 6 negative tiles, so x equals negative 6 here. Now we're looking at problem 2. What minus 8 equals negative 3? So what would have to be here in place of x, where you would subtract 8 and equal negative 3? Well, here I'd have to do the opposite of what it says too. I want to cancel these out, so I need to add 8 to both sides. X equals positive 5. All right, go ahead and show diagrams like I did here as you work through these problems. But it's the same concept as before, except now we have decimals and negative numbers. All right, complete this page and this page over here. All right, good luck. Have fun.